All aboard! Hey friends, we're coming from you live from the Strasburg Railroad. Today we're going to talk about the Strasburg Railroad and the history behind it. I'm Mrs. Christian.
I'm Miss McIntyre.
And I'm Miss Gonzalez.
Did you know almost 200 years ago the only way to travel far was by locomotive? What does that mean?
Well, Miss Gonzalez, locomotive is just another word for a train.
That's crazy, but it's true. Travel now is way different than it was back then.
The Strasburg Railroad was founded on June 9, 1832.
Over the next 100 years, the railroad would become an important part of the transportation network.
It carries freight and people throughout central Pennsylvania.
But what does freight mean?
Freight's just the supplies that the train carries.
In December 1851, the Strasburg Railroad had its first train on the tracks.
Although passenger travel decreased due to the creation of the electric trolley in 1901,
The need to transport freight during World War I and World War II kept the railroad going.
But what does freight mean?
It's just the supplies the train carries.
in 1957, the owners applied to the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission for abandonment.
Abandonment is what, though?
They didn't want the place anymore because there were too many storm damages and they were losing a lot of money.
Oh, but Henry Long and Donald Hollick got together a group of individuals and bought the place to make it into the tourist attraction that it is today. November 1st, 1958, the Strasburg Railroad was bought for $18,000.
The railroad was totally unworkable. These tracks needed repair.
At some places, the tracks are completely covered by the farm fields.
January 4th, 1959, the first passenger train in 40 years departs the Strasburg Railroad.
The train was pulled by engine number 1, which is powered by gasoline, just like cars are today.
Whoa!
In 1960, the owners bought the Strasburg Railroad's first steam engine, number 31.
Between 1962 and 1991, the Strasburg Railroad bought 5 more steam trains, including number 4, which burns coal.
On May 26, 2011, the Strasburg Railroad received a state historical marker. It received this because of its impact on the railroad industry worldwide. It is also one of the most successful tourist railroads in the U.S.
Look at this cool water fountain!
Now let's go back and cover those words we didn't know before. Locomotive. Now let's remember that's just another word for train. Freight is the supplies that the trains carry. The Strasburg Railroad was abandoned by its owners because of storm damages, which means they just didn't want the place anymore. Thank you for joining us on our field trip to the Strasburg Railroad. We hope you guys had as much fun as we did.
In 1957, the owners applied to the Pennsylvania Commission for Utility. That's not right.
November 1st, 1958, the Strasburg Railroad was bought for $18,000.
But the track was unworkable.
Okay, I didn't know. The Strasburg.
Did you know?
Ah.
The Strasburg Railroad was founded on June 9, 1930. After multiple failed attempts and almost a trip to the hospital, we finally got our perfect picture.